Aykut uçak gemisiyle başladığı ziyaretlerini NASA ile devam ettiriyor. Bu hafta duyduğuma göre Los Angeles'ta bulunan NASA'ya ait özel bir teknoloji üretim merkezini görmeye gitmiş. Yılda sadece bir kere ziyarete açılan ve binlerce insan tarafından görülen bu özel merkezde Mars'a gönderilen ilk robottan asteroidleri gözlemlemeye kadar uzaya ilişkin birçok şey bulunmakta. Bakalım Aykut bu hafta neler yapmış? Gelin şimdi hep birlikte izleyelim.
Eksi10 ekibimizle beraber sizler için NASA'nın yani JPL'in Güney Kaliforniya'daki ana binasındayız. Sizler için bu binayı gezeceğiz, Mars'a giden aletleri görmeye çalışacağız ve karşımıza ne çıkarsa ilgileneceğiz. Hadi bakalım beraber NASA ve JPL Güney Kaliforniya'da neler yapıyor öğrenelim. Tell me, what are we looking at? What are they?
All right. So this one that's closest to us right now, this is an engineering model of the mobility system for the Mars Curiosity rover.
So it's called the Mars Curiosity rover.
The Curiosity rover, that's part of the Mars Science Laboratory project.
So has this been to Mars, or is it just something that's like here that you test on, or how does it work?
So this particular hardware is something that we use here on Earth to test with.
Gotcha.
But the actual rover itself is right now in space on its way to Mars.
Wow.
That's right. This particular rover is basically to drive around and analyze samples of rocks and the soil from Mars. So the main purpose of this guy is to detect organic molecules,
wow,
which basically
like
are
oxygen,
the building
water.
blocks of life.
Mars Curiosity rover'da ne derseniz işte önümüzde. Uzaya şu an gönderdikleri Ağustos'un 5'inde Mars'a inecek rover'ın ta kendisi, yani %100 birebir modeli işte bu. Robot, araba, uçak, roket hepsi var saydıklarımın bu arada.
This is a life-size model of the rover that was launched in November. It's going to land on August 5th.
Okay.
And it's supposed to last for at least 2 years on Mars. We hope longer, to study whether Mars could support life in the past or not. This one's got a special nuclear sort of battery called a radioisotope thermoelectric power system. Essentially uses the heat from plutonium to make electricity with no moving parts, and that charges a battery, and the battery runs the mission. It's got cameras. It's also for the first time got a laser to vaporize the rocks and see that you can't reach, for example. And it's got a drill to drill into rocks for the first time. Well, the big question is, did Mars ever have life in the past, and how, if so, was that life similar to life on Earth? That's the long-term question. So I think it probably had life in the ancient past. We think Mars was wet and warmer in its first billion years. The last 3 billion years generally have been pretty cold and dry, but there may be still things under the surface, for example, that are evidence of current life.
People tell me that Mars has like a face on it. What's the story behind that?
The story behind that is that human eye and brain sees lots of funny patterns. And for years there was this one rock formation that if you looked at it a certain way at a certain time of day, it looked like a sort of a Roman centurion or something. So a few years ago we got a nice high-resolution picture, and it's eroded mesa, just like you'd find in the desert. But we've actually got pictures of Mars now that you can see, cameras that are powerful enough to see something the size of a boulder. So you can see the previous landers on Mars sitting there. That to me is more exciting than any conspiracy theory.
Bu şimdi 2 sene Mars'da kalacak. Yani 2 sene mi bekleyeceğiz bilgilerimizi geri alabilmek için? Hayır. Üzerinde özel bir radyo var. Özel uyduları kullanıyor ve hemen bu alet, robot bilgileri aldığı anda o bilgileri dünyaya gönderiyor. İşte su var mı? Oksijen var mı? Ne tür organik maddeler var? Ve biz bunu hemen öğreniyoruz. Yani aklım neredeyse almıyor. Bu kadar da beklemiyordum. Mars'a giden robotu tasarlayan şahısla tanışacağız ve görüşeceğiz. What's your name?
My name is Rob.
And what do you do at NASA?
I'm actually here. I am the chief engineer for the Mars Curiosity rover that's on its way to Mars right now. It's going to land August 5th Pacific time at 10:30 local time, and it's going to land right there at our landing site.
This is your landing site.
This is a giant crater on Mars called Gale Crater.
Gale Crater.
Gale Crater, and in the center of Gale Crater is this big mountain. This mountain has layers of rock, and what attracted scientists to this landing site was because of these great layers of ancient time on Mars will allow us to explore parts of Mars we think are very old, back when Mars might have been more wet, more conducive for the possibility of life to be living. Back then, we would go to these places and say, "Ooh, look at that. What is it?" We don't know. What is this over here? I don't know. It's red. We don't know. And so what's now is that we can now understand the words on the pages of our explorations. We can go get enough information and now enough knowledge from what we're looking at to be able to interpret it, to put it in a context.
Do you think there's life on Mars?
We don't know if there's life on Mars, but I would be surprised if life hasn't been there at one time. And part of the reason for that is because the conditions for life evolving on this planet early in its history were very similar on Mars. We're able to really go to places and learn things. And what we learn is not about those places, we learn about ourselves. And that's some of the most exciting parts about this. God created this universe. God has left messages for us to see and read, and it's our right and duty to understand what is out there. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Given me enlightenment genuinely a lot more than I
Thank you.
anticipated.
Great.
And this is just our first stop.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Nice to
Good
meet
luck.
you. 5 dakika Rob gibi birisiyle konuştuk ve inanıyorum ki şöyle bir kitap okumuş gibi bilgi verdi bize. Biz gezmeye devam edelim ki daha neler öğreneceğiz bugün.
We are seeing heartbeat tones indicating that the vehicle is behaving normally and has nothing to report, so everything looks good right now.
What do we got here?
We have a thermal infrared camera, their whole electromagnetic spectrum from X-ray to radio waves, of course. But infrared is cool because it sees thermal energy. Your body, my body, we all give off energy in the thermal infrared. And that's what we're seeing here on the screen. So white is the hottest to red, orange, yellow, green, blue, black. The real reason we love infrared, I'll do a quick demo.
Okay.
I can't see you through the camera here, invisible light.
Right.
I can't see you at all.
Right.
And so imagine if this were dust in space.
Okay.
My visible light camera could not see what's behind and vice versa. But infrared cuts through the dust, and let's see if I can see that here. So up on the screen, let's see if I can get through the dust. And there, sure enough. So right through, no problem for the infrared. And that's exactly why we use it.
What made you want to get into NASA? What drives you? What do you want to know about?
Well, I wanted to work here since I was a little kid. This is my first job right out of college.
Three people and they all
It's the same thing. And it was the Voyager missions that inspired me. As an 8th grader, I saw the pictures in National Geographic of Saturn and Jupiter, and I said, I got to work at this place. And it's just that there's not many jobs left where you feel like an explorer still, and we feel like explorers every day. So I'm so lucky and privileged to be here.
Beni görüyorsunuz, normal ekrandayım şu anda. Yani infrared kamera dedikleri. Ama öbür ekrana baktığınızda sıcak ve soğuk yerlerimi görüyorsunuz. Mesela kafama bakıyorsunuz. Yani sarılar biraz daha soğuk ama kırmızı da en sıcak. Görüyorsunuz zaten burası sıcak. Terliyorum. Malum buralarım sıcak. Burnum da serin. Herhalde hava girip çıktığından, ne diyeyim artık, Karadeniz burnu olduğundan da olabilir. What should we think of when we think of life out there? Should we think of like the movies like the Coneheads? Or should we just think of like organisms? Should we think of maybe lifelike creatures?
First of all, we don't have any data.
No.
So let me get this right.
Okay.
We're looking, but there's a lot of conjecture out there. We're finding organic molecules in space. But I don't believe UFOs come here and make crop circles or steal grandmas from Michigan or need us for food or enslave us. We are such a small, insignificant chunk of rock that all this stuff makes me feel just the grandeur and the magnificence of it all.
Do you feel connected to it all? Are we somehow a part of a family of the whole thing? Someone else told me that.
Yes, if you want to really get trippy, as stars shine, they take hydrogen, mash them together to get helium, and then do heliums to lithium, and they go all the way down to iron.
Okay.
After iron, the star can't push them together and make energy anymore. The thing goes unstable and blows up as a supernova.
Okay.
When it blows up, it makes everything heavier than iron.
Okay.
I'm wearing a gold wedding band.
Okay.
This came from a stellar explosion. I'm wearing stellar explosion stuff here. Yes, that gives me a connection.
If I keep talking to you, I'm going to leave a different man today.
Isn't that a good thing?
I think so. It depends, unless I go home and start Googling things and learn more.
The bottom thing is, the most important thing you can do as an individual, as a nation, as a species is learn.
Bu hafta Eksi10 ekibimizle beraber sizler için NASA, JPL'in bu dev kampüsünü gezdik. Disneyland'ın 2 katı büyüklüğünde Mars'a giden arabalar, robotlar ve her türlü efsaneyi gördük. Haftaya farklı bir bölümde, farklı bir macerada buluşmak üzere.